Done.
Okay. Okay. In the first session, no, like I have covered you like introduction to like what is BPM, what are the advantages of BPM, and why we are going for IBM BPM, and history of IBM BPM. We are not yet covered this BPM life cycle actually. Okay, now I'm going to cover
Yes.
the life cycle of the BPM, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is about like life cycle of the BPM. Let me highlight this. Life cycle of the BPM, you can analyze it as a something like agile process or typical life cycle. It's a normal life cycle. It's a BPM life cycle, not particularly like IBM BPM life cycle. Okay. First one, modeling of a business process. Modeling of a business process. Who will model the business process? Modeling of a business process is generally done by BA. BA is the business analyst who is sitting with the client. Like he will discuss with the client what was the requirement and he will try to like model the business process. For to model the business process, like generally people use UML diagrams. UML stands for Unified Modeling Language. They are nothing but the blueprint of a software. Okay. Later, based on upon the like after getting the sign off or approval from the client, like developers will develop the project based upon they will just use the UML diagrams as a reference. They will just use the UML diagrams as a reference. But in BPM, no, in order to model the business process in our IBM BPM, our BA uses BlueWorks Live. So instead of like UML diagrams, here the BA uses BlueWorks Live. BlueWorks Live is a like what is BlueWorks Live is like www.blueworkslive.com. It's an URL. Okay. So what you can say about BlueWorks Live is like BlueWorks Live is a SaaS based tool. What is this SaaS based tool? SaaS based tool is nothing but software as a service. For example, any like some tool is there. Suppose if our BPM tool is there, IBM BPM tool is there. You are how you are launching the process designer and all. Okay, you are launching the process designer and all just like by opening some tool. Okay, for example, if you are opening our tool via some browser by typing some URL, if you can open a tool and you can work on it, then such type of tools, that means a tool which can be accessed via web, a tool which can be accessed via web are called as SaaS based tools. SaaS stands for software as a service. Software as a service. Okay, BlueWorks Live is called as SaaS based tool. Next, BlueWorks Live is a 30-day free trial. Is a 30-day free trial, like anyone can register it. Okay, if you are having like valid licenses, like you can log on to your process designer as well, and you can directly connect to the BlueWorks Live and you can import. Okay, next, what are the few more advantages of this BlueWorks Live are like here in BlueWorks Live, no, like once the BA started the development, BA started the modeling of the process. What BA will do, like he will, when he sits with the client, he will quickly open this BlueWorks Live. He will start modeling the process. It's something like what you can say like plug and play. Plug and play in the sense very quickly he can drag and drop like what are the components is required. It's a very colorful tool. Like he can like make it like much more colorful. He can add much more colors to it, and finally once after the completion of the modeling, no, he can directly generate to the PPT or PDF, and so that he can present to the client like this was the requirements which he understood, like how the requirement he understood and what the client has done, so that the client can also easily understand this BlueWorks Live. Actually the BlueWorks Live, for whom this BlueWorks Live is developed, this BlueWorks Live is developed only for the non-technical people or business people. BlueWorks Live is not
So
really meant
when
for us.
when we take this license from BPM, does this comes as a free BlueWorks Live, or we have to pay separately for this?
Okay, if you brought it for like uh, IBM is giving along with the product.
along with BPM.
Yeah, along with the product, I think so. Like, but what the problem is like you'll get like one user ID password.
Okay, so
Like
in case you want many IDs, you have to apply for some license, right? If
yeah,
you want
if you
multiple
want
users,
more, you have to apply
you
for the
so
license.
it's a single way.
Yes.
Yeah. And
So even
one more thing, do you know about PaaS, PaaS, something PaaS, platform as service? You know what is that?
platform as a service. This SaaS one you are saying?
SaaS, I understand what you told. When you use software as a web-based
Yeah.
tool, then it is called software. But PaaS, do you know PaaS? I have heard something PaaS.
No, actually.
It's okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, continue. Yeah. Please.
Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. Actually, the BlueWorks Live is mainly developed for the non-technical people or business people. Uh, Next, one more thing is like in our organization also like we are also using like some user ID and password. Like, but we are having only one license. I hope why because no, like once I log in, like if some other person has logged in, so it's automatically logged out from my mission. Like if you want like more licenses, like you can get it from the IBM by paying, I think so. Okay. So if you want like 30-day free trial, you can log in it. At least it will take 1 day in order to like activate your account. Okay. Now, generally it is designed for non-technical people. Non-technical people in the sense or business people. Even the business people, it's like very interesting tool. It's a very interesting tool. This BlueWorks Live. Even the client want to explain something to the BA. Even the client can log in into BlueWorks Live. He can draw whatever the workflow he has in his organization for a particular process, and he can present to the BA like this what the requirement I have. So what you people has to do this. So like in this way also like even this non-technical people can also use this BlueWorks Live. Okay. Next, people will call this BlueWorks Live as collaborative tool. Collaborative tool in the sense how how they are saying is like two people sitting in the two different geographic locations can access it, can use it. In the sense like a BA is sitting at the onshore, for example the uh, process analyst is sitting at the offshore. During the onshore time, like BA can log into it and he can like do the modeling and all. During the offshore timings, like process analyst can open it and he can do like what he can analyze like whether everything is fine or something we can't implement it in BPM. So everything he will analyze and he will do it. So they are also saying it as a collaborative tool. Okay. Next, using this BlueWorks, one more advantage is like this can be imported to the process designer. This can be imported to process designer in IBM BPM. If I open the process designer, if I open the process designer, any of the project, here I can see something called as BlueWorks Live process. Okay, by clicking on here the plus button, it is asking log on to the BlueWorks Live. BlueWorks Live website is https://blueworkslive.com. Okay, email address. It is asking if you have like valid email address and password, you can go with and you can connect to the BlueWorks Live, and whatever the process you have built in the BlueWorks Live, the same process you can import into the process designer. When you import, no, like see here how the toolkits has been appeared here. Under the name of the toolkit, like at the below you can see like system data coaches. Similarly under this BlueWorks Live also like one more tab has been added with the name of your process how you built in the BlueWorks Live. Okay, this about like BlueWorks Live. Next, uh, again coming back to like our process. Okay. So after months after the modeling, no, like he is process analyst. What is the purpose of the process analyst is like he is something we can say like process analyst, or in some organization may call as an architect, depending upon the organization structure. He is like, we can say like he is something who belongs to like some technical people. He know completely about the tool. When BA model the business process, he is going to analyze it. He is going to look into the designer, he is going to look into the modeling and all. He is trying to analyze whether this can be implemented via PPM, or what are the challenges, like anything which requires like much more clarification from the client. So he will discuss with the BA like what are the challenges, everything is fine. Like if anything he did not understand, like everything he will discuss with the BA. Okay, that is the purpose of the process analyst. Okay, once after like everything is finalized, okay, they BA is going to present some presentation to the client. Client agrees, like they will get, we will get the sign off from the client. Okay, in terminology like how the business know, like in case of like approval, they are using the word like sign off. Okay, will people will, when we get like sign off from the client or approval from the client, this the project whatever these the guy has modeled, or whatever the architect has analyzed, like everything, all the comments, everything we can comes to like development phase. Okay, so each and every organization lo generally they will maintain some SharePoint. SharePoint is nothing but the common repository in the web, like where we can store all the documents. So for example, a new project is coming, the new project is related to some debit card request or something. So what this architect will do, like he will create a folder in the SharePoint. SharePoint is a normal access actually, like it's in some URL based, like on there we can like create some folders and we can put Word documents, Excels, whatever you want. Okay, he will put like what architect will put, like he will put all the documents related to the project in the SharePoint. Okay, he will create a folder with debit card request. He will put all the documents related to like how what the BA, once BA has generated into PPT or PDF, no, like everything he will put. And already as well as like during the modeling phase he will raise some queries, and BA is going to give some like clarification, or whenever they got some clarification from the client, everything they will document, everything they will post it in the SharePoint. Okay, once after before developing the project, generally it is depends upon organization to organization, like people whatever the BA has model. Okay, okay, we may say like once the BA has model, like everything we are getting like developers are getting some user stories. User stories are nothing but something in the Excel sheet, like they can see something in the Excel sheet. How the document, how the requirements are coming is like, I will just show you in one of my slide how the developers will start their project. Okay, in the SharePoint, like developers can see something like this type of user stories. Developers will see something like this type of user stories. Next, what was the role system, what was the description, what was the goal, what system has to do, what supervisor has to do, what manager has to do. You can see the complete information here. You can see complete information here. You can see like all the user
For
stories.
each and every role, you have to note the task what they actually do at different levels. So we will convert these into coaches, right? And these all roles.
Yeah, we are converting just this a high level high level requirement document, we can say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a business requirement document. Like this is like a high level document. Okay, so you are going to like refer to this document. This also you can see it in the SharePoint, but there will be also like one in the life cycle. There is also like one more guy who is coming to the picture is designer. Okay. What designer will do, like he will convert that high level document, like the business requirement document, into like a low level. He will try to like analyze it, and he will try to give the complete description and all, and he will give you something like this. He will provide with you the screenshots how to model like so that we can easily understand. Okay, he will give like complete picture, like for what purpose we have to take each and every activity, what is the message which is coming from the system, what was the flow and all. So that by looking at this, no, you will get like much more idea. So that by looking at the developers will like start their project. So depending upon the organization like structure, there will be, if there is an designer whose part is like to converting of like such high level to low level, okay, designer will be coming to the picture and he is going to do. If the organization don't maintain any designer and all, like based upon the business requirement documentation only, like developers has to do, they has to do. This depending upon the organization structure. If they have like designer or someone like who is converting this and making it as much more simpler, so designer will take care of this. So if anything if you require much more clarification, or generally, you know what we will do, like whenever we want like some clarification on some scenario and everything, no, what we will do, like we will contact the designer only. Why? Because we won't contact the BA, we will just contact the designer. We will check with the designer. Why? Because he modeled the process. He prepared us the design document. Like we will contact him and we will check with him like what was the uh, what was the this requirement we can't understand, or this requirements we can't implement. This is like conflicting or something. He is going to give us the clarification. Okay. So we are here. So after this analyzation, okay, next it came to like development. What development means, like with we, like developers. What developers will do? Developers will like start developing their project. They will quickly open the process designer. They will develop the project. Here, see here. During development, what they will do? They will develop some human task interface. Human task interface in the sense we are developing some UIs. Okay, we are developing some business rules depending upon the business, and dashboards in the sense we can expose some whatever the UI you have created, now you can expose it as dashboards. And you can also like expose the reusable component. These are nothing but the toolkits. During development we are going to use all this. Okay, many are there apart from this as well. Okay, so you people will start the development. During development we require like various types of integrations. Sometimes you may integrate with BPM, has to be integrated with like in order to get the data from database, or you need to integrate with the database, or you need to call some web service like which is somewhere in the remote approach, like you are going to like call that and you are passing some request, you are getting some response. Okay, that type of integration you may do. Or like some you have to, your BPM has to integrate with some ETL, or your BPM has to integrate to some Hadoop. Like various types of integrations are there. Okay, developers will develop the project. After that they will try to like if there is any integration is required, they will try to integrate with the external systems. Okay, once the development has been completed, so like in a typical organization, how this develop after that when the developers developed the project, when so there will be having some code review. Like who will do the code review? Generally the architect, or like someone like experts who are going to review their code, like whether they has followed like as a part of our training. No, we are also like explaining like what are the best practices need to be followed while developing a project. Okay, they will do some code reviews and everything like in phases, like for every 15 days or for every 1 month, people will start doing this code review and all. Okay, once like everything is good from the once everything is good, once the development has been completed, like what developers will do, like developers will do some sort of like unit testing. Okay, in unit testing also everything looks good. In unit testing also, if everything looks good, then what they will do, like what we will do, like okay, everything looks good, like we will be having like some time, like we need to deploy it to the SIT environment. Okay, once we will just take a snapshot, we will ask the BPM admin to deploy the snapshot into the SIT environment. Once the snapshot has been deployed into the SIT environment, like what we will do, what it once it is deployed in the SIT environment, your SIT team who is performing some testing, they will execute their test cycles. Okay, they will execute their test cycles. Okay, they will start trying to like check it from test case 1, test case 2. They will start executing. Okay, if any defects comes during testing, what they will do, they will Generally the testing may intimate like in various ways. We may have like common tool will testers and we can commonly can see it. So they will post the defects and everything, so that as a developer what we have to do, like when something defect came, like we need to analyze it. It might be like data issue, or it may be like our code issue, or it may be like something like design issue. Okay. So how the require while someone is explaining, who is explaining for us the requirements and everything? Okay, designer is explaining for us the requirements and everything. So how the organizational level it will go now? Nowadays, like testers and developers won't be in the same call. Okay, we'll for us, like for example, a designer is providing the requirements and everything. So for testing team, maybe like a designer or someone like architect or someone is going to give the requirements. So we our calls will be happen separately. Designer like developer calls will be happen separately. Testing calls will be happen separately. So what was the advantage of this means? Like for example, somebody like designer may miss something, okay, or architect may miss something to the testers. So in such scenarios, when when there are like two separate calls has been happened, they are having like, okay, they are having like test cases. Of course, for example, if that scenario we have not yet implemented, so everything will comes out during the testing phase, so that initial phase only, like we can like analyze like, okay, something went wrong, okay, something requirement has been missing. So like testing people will start execute work, something defect comes, no, what we have to do, like we have to fix it, and again you have to like provide the another snapshot. Again we need to provide the another snapshot. Okay, for example, assume that testing SIT cycle 1 and cycle 2 are completed, everything looks good. Then what people will do, like the next phase of testing is once after SIT is completed, but probably maybe you have like UAT or QA. Okay, in the UAT or user acceptance testing or some organizations they will call it as QA, quality assurance testing. Okay, in there like uh, there are like many types of testing people will do. Like in some organization they will do some load balancing testing, like they will put some load on the server and they will try to execute our application and they will try to analyze the results, like how much in when we are having like this much of load on the server, like how your application is running or anything performance issue is there. And also like some of the business users who has provided you the requirements, like these people also like try to execute the application and they will try to analyze whether, okay, it's everything is okay, what they have like what they required actually is everything has been implemented or not. Okay, once everything looks good, then it will be like a rollout to the production. Okay, once it went to like deployed into the production, like probably like initially what they will do, like they will try to like give some of the like request to this snapshot and they will try to identify how it is working in the production. Okay, how it is working in the production. Okay, everything looks good. They will try to roll off to like 2 branches, 3 branches, and finally like all over the country. Okay, once this is deployed into the runtime environment, like business users, like in the sense for whom like your application has, suppose you have developed this application for the employees of the bank, employees of the bank will try to use your application. Okay. Next, business owners or like who is the CEOs of the organization or vice presidents or president, they are mainly interested in the reporting part. They will try to like monitor the business, like how many cases came today. For example, mm, how many people requested for account opening today, like how many are completed, how many are pending. Okay, fine. How many are like came yesterday or day before yesterday, 5 days back, 10 days back, why they are in hold. Like they will try to like identify like we are in BPM, no, like reporting side we have like various types of report generation in terms of like bar graph, pie charts and all. They will try to analyze it. Okay, they will try to analyze the complete business. Okay, this is the normal BPM life cycle, not typical to like IBM BPM. It's like normal BPM life cycle, or we can say like it's a like part of the agile process as well. So we are calling this as continuous process improvement. We are calling this as continuous process improvement. Is it clear, Vivek? It's like normally actually you know everything. Why? Because it's a normal
Yeah, yeah.
how we are
Life cycle is clear. I have just a few questions.
yeah.
When during the development timing and when we are doing unit testing, there are some scenarios like you connect to some external system. Is it possible to can you have local inputs, or you can do something step kind of where you can get the local input at various steps, and then you can continue your process and then test it unit testing wise?
Yeah, that we can do. But provided that there should be some approval from your end-to-end delivery manager. You should approve. Okay, external system integration is not yet ready, but we are
No,
not
what
going to.
I am saying is, let's say you are on some step and then you want to get some information from external system. Okay, but that system itself is not available in the
Yeah,
development environment. It will be available in the UAT or DR.
yeah,
Okay,
right.
so at that point you have to still test that step where you pass some input and get some output. So is it possible to test it locally? You can create some dummy stuff or
Right.
something like that.
In our project also, like once what happened, like we have like dependency on like 2 to 3 integrations actually. But our BPM
Yes, yes,
and like BPM part is everything is completed, but from the integration side, actually they require like much more time. So what we did is like
yes,
so we
yes.
like checked with the end-to-end delivery manager, like on approval from the generally this once the end-to-end what they will do like they will take some permission from the like business. Once they have confirmed, okay,
Mm.
we can later we can integrate. So like you can create some like dummy service to post the input, like assuming that this has input has been posted by like some external system, and we can start up with the testing. So once after the external systems are everything is ready, okay, in went to like UAT, then external systems everything is ready. Even in SIT also, like people will do, it's a like part of like smoke testing, like 1 or 2 days.
So this dummy stuff, how do you build it? Means in what tool or what you use? For in your example, what did you do?
Yeah. In my scenario, like what happened, like some external system is going to post some XML messages in my BPM event queue. Okay,
Right.
that external system is not ready. So what I did is like I have created some human service which accepts an input as an XML. So I exposed this service to the portal so that the once the testers open the portal, they can see this service which is exposed. When they clicked on this, it will be asked like to post the XML structure. Okay, they will just paste the XML structure and whatever the values they want, they will change only the values. They won't change the structure and all. And once they click on submit, no, it is going to create a case for them.
Okay, that request will come to you as a web HTTP request
Yeah, that request
to
actually
your.
it should come from the external system, but it is not there. So like we only posting that message actually, and I am hitting my process once after posting this message.
How is that connection? Is a HTTP connection?
No, like we have like in order to like implement that, in order to like connect, we have like various ways of like hitting our process. It's not HTTP. We are having many components to implement that in BPM.
Okay. And one more thing, let's say in the same step, you written a custom code and you are accepting your local input.
Okay.
Okay, and you have to write some code, some script, okay,
Yeah.
to manipulate that data.
Yes.
Hmm?
That we need to
Is
we
it
have to
possible to write?
that we have to handle.
Okay, so which kind of a script we use here for writing?
Yeah, see here, like as I said, we are getting some XML, but our business, like our input will be in normal BO structure actually, not the XML structure. You need to convert that XML to like BO. You need to use some XPath, or you have to go for some serialization concept in order to convert that XML to like XPath. And we have like many more challenges while building that. Why? Because no XML generally like in BPM no, like whenever I post some XML, so like XML structure, like it will be like less than between like angular braces it will be. But in BPM, how it
Yes.
is taking is like yeah, some ampersand LT, some like if there is something like and is there, it is taking like and symbol. So again, what we did is like we have converted this to like ampersand LT to like angular bracket, and again we are like doing some conversion. There is like some challenges while doing this, so we need to write the code for that. We need to handle that.
So, which script we used to write? Which kind of what kind of scripting? Java
JavaScript.
or Java
Use JavaScript.
JavaScript? But if you use JavaScript, then it will be executed on the browser, right? We need some server scripting, right?
Yeah, we are having like some server scripts where you are going to write your code.
So, which server script language we use?
JavaScript language only. So whenever, see here, I will show you
Okay,
again.
JavaScript. So JavaScript can run on server. You mean to say, like,
Yeah, I will show it again.
because mostly JavaScript is on web, right? Web browser. It's a web-based language. If you use a package, like for example, Node.js, Node Node runs on server.
Yeah, see here. For example, this is the, like a component which is provided by the IBM BPM. This is server script. So whenever I write some like piece of code, like in workflow, no, we are using a part of like JavaScript. It's a I can't say it is a pure JavaScript. Like what we are doing is like we are using some part of like which is the language which TW dot local dot language which is similar kind of like JavaScript. So we are using in the server side. So the pure JavaScript, no, what you said like in case of web that we are using pure JavaScript in case of like client side validations. Client side validations in the sense in UI side. Why? Because whenever you click on here, it should run in the browser. Okay, web page.
Yes, yes,
So there we are using
yes.
pure JavaScript. Here we are using in the workflow, we are having like server script. It's we can't say like it's a pure JavaScript. It's like some TW language. It is like which resembles JavaScript. It's like something like TW whatever we code it everything in the
Is it
TW.log.
Dojo?
Some
Is
teamworks.
it Dojo?
No, Dojo we are
Do
using
you
like the client side only.
mention? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like a JavaScript kind of, but it's like a different specific to server. So it
Yeah. Right.
actually is it's running on the server, so we can write any type of scripts here.
Yes.
Getting it. Acha, can you tell me one more thing? How do we transfer one XML to another? Do we use XSLT or there is any other way?
Okay. Like you want to like convert the XML to like normal our variables or BO structure.
No, no. When you have a XML structure coming, let's say there is a parent, there is a child, and there's one more child. But in my output, I want when I receive that XML, I have to convert that into a flat structure. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So basically, we are changing the hierarchy there. Is there a way?
For example, you are having like only one child here. Okay.
Hmm.
This is the XML structure.
Okay.
Okay. So there are various techniques are there. This is the one technique like so we follow like one path of conversion. This is X path.
Okay. Okay.
So here extracting, we are extracting from the item of zero. Item of zero in the sense it is like child zero. If you are having like child one, we will take it as item of one. From the item of one, we are trying to like extract the text. Like what is the value of the item of one? Like we are getting the text and we are moving into our normal variable city.
Okay. Getting it. Okay. So basically, we can write here. We can change it. We can write some code here.
Yeah, right.
Can you click on the pre and post?
Yeah, pre and post like for example, what is this purpose of this pre and post like? You are getting some values actually. We are getting some values and you want to override something or you want to add some value or like you write some pre. Like pre means before execution of an activity. If you want to like assign something. Post means after execution of an activity. If you want to assign something. For example, before execution of an activity what I can say like the status of the case is new. After execution of the activity I want to say like status of a case is like in progress. So I will put some like this is not a part of my project as well. Like just I'm appending some case status so that like customer can easily understand what was the status of a particular case. So I can write here like before this like it is new, after this it is like in progress. So before execution, he can see something like new. Here it is a server script. I'm assuming it as a like human task. When it is human task, we can put like this. Pre means like before execution of an activity. Post means after execution of activity.
Okay, I think we will come here, right, again when we
Yeah,
do
yeah, we
develop
will come to here.
basic.
Like we'll be completely working on the designer only, no? Like once we completed our like
Yeah, we can.
basics.
You think we can go back there.
Yes. Okay, understood. No, this life cycle of the BPM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like during development phase, no, we'll be having like various like playback sessions with the client. What is this playback sessions? Playback sessions are nothing but like what we can say like something like demonstrations with the client like whenever you start some project like at the initial stage like we not yet like just we have designed some high level PPD not yet connected to the services initially after 15 days if you are having like playback session with the client you can show it to the client what you are like designing and what you have developed till now. Okay, this is playback 0. Next, playback 1. Playback is nothing but the skeleton which you are showing. In the playback 1, no, what will show like you will attach some services, you will run it and you will show. In playback 2, if there is any integrations are there, you will try to like integrate. In playback 3, like you, if anything like you will run each and every flow in playback once after like maximum number of playbacks are like 3 to 5 it's like between three and 5. So playback is like something what you can say like what we are showing it to the client. So it's like a skeleton which we will present to the client during like during the client sessions or during like interaction with the client. So you will share your webex and you will show it to the client. Okay, this what we have completed. Okay, this is like how the screen is looking like. So there will we will be having some playback sessions with the client during our development. So this diagram, the same diagram, I can show it in you here as well. Yeah, she is the like PA who is like a business analyst who is sitting with the client and who is trying to model the business process. He is the process analyst. Probably he may be in the onshore or it may be offshore. Like he is trying to like identify the bottlenecks in the process if something which can't implement or he is a much more technical guy. He is taking care of like each and every like how the flow and everything is going on. And once after this BA and process analyst okay both agreed and when they got the approval from the or sign off from the client it will come to like development phase. Okay, it will come to like development phase. Hmm. Yeah, here this is the layer of the developer where we develop and integrate. Once after the development and integration assume that all the phases of testing are completed. Finally it is deployed into the runtime box or prod environment. In the prod when it is executing, when our application is executing in the prod, okay, these are like process participant. Who are these process participant? Process participants are nothing but like the people who are going to like use our application. So assume that these people are like employees of the bank, employees of the organization, they are using our application. Okay, when these people are using their application, these are like owners of the business owners who are going to like analyze and monitor the results like how many are completed, how many are pending, like they will analyze it in the form of like they will generate everything in the form of like reports, then bar graph or pie charts. So they will analyze it. This is about like how the typical BPM life cycle will be. Okay, this is about like BPM life cycle. And the next topic which I want to discuss with you is okay. Next, for you, the history of IBM BPM is already completed. And before going to the architecture, anyway, like architecture, I'm going to explain you tomorrow. We have like 15 minutes of time. So one more topic I want to discuss with you, that is BPM. That is not covered for you. Okay, I have shared you like some of the material with you. In that material now, you can see one document related to BPM, not this document actually. that document no like which contains the how what is this BPM and how this has been started. So what is this BPM and stands for like business process modeling notation. So whatever the components which we use in IBM BPM, whenever we build some process in IBM BPM, in the right side you can see like various components. So whenever you build some high level process, when you are trying to build some process, in the right side you can see like various components. Okay, okay. From where we have taken all these components while developing this IBM BPM, okay, these people from where they get all these components, how they has designed all these processes, is there any reference following or simply they have kept okay this is our tool, so we are only like newly designing all these components, or we are only like naming it something like intermediate or send and so, or they are following it some taking it some reference, or they are copying it from somewhere else. So that is about like BPMN. BPMN stands for business process modeling and notation. Business process modeling and notation. What is this BPMN? Like BPMN is the standard. It is used by all the organizations. Like for example, what is the purpose of this BPMN is like there is a group called as OMG. OMG stands for Object Management Group. This group was started in the around 1990s only. So what this group meant for like around like 30 to 40 companies who are like developing the BPM products, they came into a common platform. All the people came into common platform. After coming to the common platform, what these people did is like they have like identified okay uh, some of the like notations, and they finalized that these are the notations which we need to use when we are developing some BPM products, or when we these are like notations we need to use. Okay, so like many of the companies are participating in this. That group name is OMG. Okay, so whatever the companies they are participating, they are using common notation. Before 2002 I guess, the notation which they followed is BPMN 1.1. The current notation which all the BPMs are following is BPMN 2.0. The notation version which we are following right now is BPMN 2.0. These are all from where, if anybody asks you like from what are these components, what are these in the right side in the palette, the components which you see, the activities or gateway or events, what are the components you see? All the components are related to BPMN 2.0. All the components are related to BPMN 2.0. See here, it's a simple like high level process, like something like sending some request, sending some.
This is Jagdish, this is a what is called public notation. Basically, is it not proprietary to any specific like
Yeah,
IBM, or is it
it's
right?
like used by not only with the IBM, it is using by many of the organizations who are the part of that OMG.
Okay.
So
OMG is what?
OMG stands for Object Management Group. This is the group formed by all these organizations.
Okay, okay.
Okay, what is the advantage of following the common notation is like if something went wrong or some tool got failed, so already has people who are invested some money on the tool, so they should not be lost. So they can migrate to like some other tool, some other BPM tool. Like see here, like the projects which are developed in some Pega can also be migrated to like IBM BPM. Projects which are developed in IBM BPM can be migrated into like Pega. So like how this happens is like of course there will be like some differences are there, but the notations which use are purely like same notations which Pega is following or IBM BPM is following.
Basically, by looking at the documentation generated from our process, they can convert it, right? And it will have detailed steps and these notations. So it is easy to, basically we don't miss the process details,
Yes,
because if we try to put all the steps together as a single step and we name it something, our custom name, then it is not detailed, right?
yes. Yeah. This is about like modeling notation, which like not only like IBM BPM, like all the organizations are following. Okay, no extra notation is followed by the IBM. All it has taken reference from this BPM and all. Okay, see here, like there is something. There is a between like patient and doctor. Some process is going on. Let me highlight this. Okay, patient is going to send a request to the doctor. Okay, so like that request is sent for I want to see the doctor. Doctor receives the request and he will send an appointment back. Okay, patient is going to receive the appointment. He is going to send some symptoms. Doctor is going to receive the symptoms and he will send some prescription. Then patient is going to like you give some medical send the medical doctor send the prescription pickup. Next receive the medical request. Patient is going to like send the medical request. Doctor is going to receive the medical request. Again like doctor is going to send medicines. Like patient is going to like some like communication between the like doctor and patient. Like here in IBM BPM, no, what is this circle is called, what is this box like rectangular symbol is called, what are these lines are called, so that we can see now. See, these are the, if anybody asks you like what are the notations which are used in BPMN 2.0, these are the notations which you are following in BPMN 2.0. Flow objects, connecting objects, swim lanes, and artifacts. In flow objects, you have like activities, event gateways. In flow objects, you have this activities, event gateways. In connecting, next one is connecting objects. Next one is swim lane. Fourth one is artifact. These are the basic BPMN elements. Okay. If you go to this slide, here you can see what are flow objects. Flow objects in the above slide, what I said, flow objects are activities, events, gateways. So these are called as activities. And all the activities we are following like in the form of like rectangular symbol. These rectangular symbols are called as activities. These circular symbols are called as events. And this diamond symbol is called as gateways, or this decision symbol is called as gateways. These are flow objects, activities, events, gateways. So the same you can see here. If I go to like IBM BPM here, so this rectangular box is called as activities. Okay, this is called as gateway. This is called as gateway, and these are called as events. This is start event. Okay, if it is n circle, this is called as intermediate event. If it is like thickly n circle, it is called as end event. Okay, these are like flow objects, activities, gateways, events. In events, like the symbol is common, like we are using this as like start, this is like intermediate, and when it is the thickly layered, we are calling it as end. Yeah. Now, next, these are the flow objects, all the flow objects we are using. Next, connecting objects. In the connecting objects, like you can see something like sequence flow, some message flow, some association. Okay, we are not using this message flow and association in our IBM BPM. We are using this sequence flow. We are using this sequence flow. What is the sequence flow like? Whenever you connect like one element to another element. Suppose I want to like connect to like here to here. Like what I will do? So I am just going to take this. I am going to like connect from here to here. So how I connected from here to here? So I connected from here to here by using some sequence line. This is called as sequence line. In order to get the connection, in order to like this is for in order to like release the connection. I can release the connection. Again I want to build some connection. I will select this. So I got something like, yeah, I can do some connections here. Okay. If I want to release the connections, I can click on this. Okay. So what type of lines you are using? What type of lines you are using? You are using sequence lines. What type of lines you are using? You are using sequence lines. Okay. In these notations, we are following the sequence lines. Okay. Next one is like, okay, this message flow and
Do you
association.
have a, exception lines?
It's not exception line.
How
Both will
in
work as same. Like whenever you select some line, there are like two types of lines you can see. One is like happy path. Whenever you select some sequence line, there are like two types of
Mhm.
lines. One is like happy path.
Okay.
Second one is like exception path. So
Okay. So
generally,
we
like
can just change the line type and then
yeah,
use it.
you can change it depending upon the usage. Generally, like no, we will go with like everything as a happy path only. If you want explicitly, like whenever you want to like handle the exceptions, like you can make it some exception path as well. You can change it, but generally we use everything as a happy path. So, like in sequence lines, you are having like this line type is happy path and exception path, but we are using in this type of we are having like more lines here, message flow association, but we are using only sequence line here. Next, third one is swim lanes. In the swim lanes, no, we are calling this completely as a pool, and we are calling individually as a lanes. What is the difference between pool and lane? Let me show you. Like, let me show you in new one. Okay, I'm building one new process, just naming it as some test. See here. So just I'm trying to highlight this. So here you can see team system. What is completely called as team and system combinedly called as pool. If like this team is called a lane and system is called a lane. Okay. Uh, okay. If you want like more lane, here we are having like to put like more lines to add more lines. I can add a lane. For example, this is my manager lane. This is my I want to convert this to like employee lane. So this is like how to build it. So we are calling this entirely as a pool, and we are calling this as one lane. This is another lane. This is another lane. This is what we are showing here. This completely is called a pool, and this independently are called as lanes. Yeah, this is called a pool, and this independent these are called as lanes. If it is like pool is separated, we are calling them as lanes. Okay, we can assume like something as like this is a swimming pool. Like there is some like each and every swimmer has to like swim in particular lane. These are called as lanes. Okay, next one is artifacts. Artifacts, what we say like while building a process, like we don't have like such type of like this type of symbols, annotation or text annotations and all. We don't have all these annotations. Whatever we develop, no, whenever we are developing, whenever we are putting like activities, events, gateways, when we are building something, like by default people are calling all of them as artifacts. Okay, some whenever I use some artifact, generally they will use the word artifacts. Actually really we are not using any of the artifacts in our IBM BPM. Okay, these are the notations like which our BPM has. Okay, flow objects, connecting objects, swim lanes and artifacts. Got it, Vivek? These are all like basic
Yes,
like
yes.
how these people has been started and all. Okay, okay, fine.
Can you just tell one thing about artifacts? I didn't get it clearly.
Yeah.
Artifacts.
Artifacts actually we are not using it in IBM. There is something like annotations, text annotations, some groups are there. These components we are not using in our IBM BPM actually, these artifacts. But what we are doing is like whenever we are explaining to someone, so whatever we say like whatever the artifacts, whenever we post some artifacts, we are call everything as something like whenever we drag and drop here, whenever we are connecting, no, we are calling them everything as an artifact. But actually, real meaning of artifact means we should not use that. Why? Because we not at all using that artifact actually.
But do we see these things in as an object in here? Do we see these
This one.
text group and data object, text notation and group in the tool?
No, in our tool we don't have this.
Okay.
Okay, these are like some.
Even message association is also not there.
This is not there actually. But this type of dotted line you can see sometimes, but that is wrong actually. Like whenever
Then
connection breaks.
where it is,
Yeah,
if it is not in this one, then where it is?
yeah. Like BPMN is the notation which has provided some of the elements to use, but it's depending upon the tool specific whether they will use or they won't use. But they are strictly
Okay,
following these notations.
okay,
That means IBM BPM don't have like any additional like components, but these people are using these BPMN notations, at least some of them.
right, right.
Okay, current notation which we are following is BPMN 2.0. Okay, okay. Next, as you asked, no, I'm just trying to prepare the for each and every session, no, like how I shared the course content for each and every session. I want to like put some highlights as well. I'm just preparing. Once after the completion, probably like quickly we can strictly we can follow it from the next week. Maybe like this weekend, I'm going to send you like till now what we have completed. Okay. So tomorrow, what I'm going to explain is like architecture of IBM BPM that is not yet covered to you actually. That architecture of IBM BPM. So I'm going to cover it you for tomorrow session.
Okay, sure.
Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, Vivek, fine. Then we'll meet in tomorrow session at the same time.
Okay, yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, thank you.